Nahihirapan ka ba na mag-multiply or mag-divide ng integer? Well, you're in the right place because in this video, I will be discussing about multiplication and division of integers. So, if you want to learn more about this specific topic or lesson, then just keep on watching. So, we will start with the rules of multiplication and division. So, this is very important. So, you must know this. So, remember, if you have a positive number or a positive integer, you multiply it by another positive integer, the result will be positive. A negative integer multiplied by a negative integer, the result will also be a positive. A negative and multiplied by a positive integer, the answer or the product is a negative. As well as a positive and a negative integer, you multiply them, the answer will be negative integer. As well as in division. So a positive integer divided by a positive integer is a positive integer. A negative divided by a negative, it's positive. Positive divided by a negative, it's negative. And finally, a negative integer divided by a positive integer, the quotient will be negative. So you have to be familiar with all this rule of multiplying and dividing integers. So specifically the signs, because signs are somehow the reason bakit nagkakamali ang inyong sagot. It is very important that you know or you know the rule, and you must always come up with the right sign, because if the answer is positive and yet your answer is negative, that is still wrong. So we will start with the first example. So let's start with multiplication of integers. So like for example, we have positive 2 multiplied by positive 4. So I don't see any problem with this. This is very easy as long as you know the multiplication table. This will be very easy for you. So this will be positive 2 times a positive 4. It is positive 8. Positive multiplied by a positive, the answer will be positive. Next, we have a negative 2 multiplied by a negative 4. So negative times negative, the answer must be positive. So negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. So we have negative 4 times positive 2. So the answer will be negative 8 because they are different sign. So notice here. So we have here negative. We have here negative times positive. It must be negative. So this one, we have negative 4 times 2. The answer will be negative 8. And also, negative 2 multiplied by positive 4. 1 negative and 1 positive. The answer must be negative. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So we have negative 8. So it is very important that you know the rule of sign. And of course, you should know how to multiply as well. It is more important than anything else, because if you don't know how to multiply, then you will not come up with the correct product. Pwede naman kasing makatama ka kahit hindi mo alam yung tamang rule. Halimbawa, you know what is 2 times 4, it's definitely 8. Pero ang sinagot, meron lang may dalawang chance lamang na pwede ka magkamali. It could be, may isagot mo is negative, tapos yung isa is positive. Unlike pagka hindi ka marunong mag-multiply, talagang mahihirapan ka. So make sure na dapat you know how to multiply already. Another one is, we have, like for example, we have negative 10 times positive 10. So, one negative and then the other one is positive. So, that means it is negative 100. Because negative times positive, it is negative. If there is one negative, it is automatically a negative. Another, like for example, we have 8, positive 8 times negative 8. There is one negative and then there is one positive, it is automatically negative. So, negative 64. How about negative 4 times negative 5? Both negative, so you must have a positive. So, negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. And we don't have any problem with this because positive 3 times positive 2 is positive 6. And that is how you are going to multiply integers. So you just need to be familiar with the sign. Make sure that you know how to multiply as well. And remember the rule that if you have a negative multiplied by a negative, that is a positive. A positive multiplied by a positive, that is positive. A negative multiplied by a positive, that is negative. And then a negative multiplied by a positive, that is also a negative. If there is one negative sign, that is automatically a negative one. Okay? So now, we are done with multiplication. We are now going to proceed with division. So, it is actually the same as in multiplication because in multiplication, if we have a positive multiplied by a positive, the product will be positive. In division, that is the same. In order for us to get the quotient, we have positive and then positive divided by a positive, that is still a positive. A negative divided by a negative, that is a positive. A negative divided by a positive, that is negative. And then a negative divided by a positive or a positive divided by a negative. If there is one negative, it is automatically a negative. That is the same as in multiplication. So like for example, we have 2 divided by 1. So notice here that they are both positive, di ba? I told you it before in my previous videos that if you don't see any sign, it is automatically a positive. Like this, there is no sign here, it is automatically a positive, and this is also a positive. 2 divided by 1 is 2. Positive divided by a positive, it is positive. Make sure as well that you know how to divide because it will be hard for you to answer such problems about division if you don't know how to divide. So next is, like for example, we have 4. Negative 4 divided by negative 2. So let us have this right this. Negative 4 divided by 2. They are both negative. So if that will be the case, that the answer will be positive. So that will be positive 2. Or simply 2. You don't have to write positive. How about, let's say, 10 divided by negative 5. So notice here that we have one positive, which is 10, and then there is a negative 5. So one is positive and the other one is a negative. So the answer will be negative because there is one negative. Remember, in the multiplication and in division, if there is one negative in the integer, it is automatically a negative. That is applicable only if we only have 2 integers being multiplied. Okay? So, negative 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2. Okay? So, we have 50. Negative 50 divided by positive 5. So, one negative and one positive. The answer will be negative. And 50 divided by 5 is 10. So, negative 10. Okay? So, another. For the last example, for multiplication, for division. So, for example, we have positive 3 divided by positive 3. So, positive 3 divided by 3 is positive 1. Positive divided by negative is positive. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. So we have negative 4 divided by 1, 1 negative, and 1 positive. 1 negative, 1 positive, you are going to have negative. And 4 divided by 1 is 4. So negative 4. Next, we have negative 2 divided by negative 2. So notice that they are the same or like signs. So negative 2 divided by negative 2, that will be positive, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So negative 2 divided by 2 is negative. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 2 divided by negative 2 is positive 1. And then we have negative 15 divided by positive 3. The other one is positive, the other one is negative. It is automatically negative. So negative 15 divided by 3, that is negative 5. Okay? And that is how you are going to divide integers. You just need to be familiar with the rule. The sign of the answer, or the answer, what will be the sign of the answer if you have negative and negative, positive and a positive, negative and positive, positive and negative. So I want you to try this. So let's have okay. So I want you to try this. We have positive 40 divided by 10, negative 20 divided by negative 4, positive 25 divided by negative 5, and then negative 100 divided by 5. Okay? So kindly comment down your answers, and we'll see if you get it right. Okay, so that ends our video about this topic. So I hope you learned something, and I hope you can actually apply this in your activities or in your modules, and always always try to do your best. And that's all. God bless.